Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are taking a look at Vanquish Soul Canine! Canine! Vanquish Soul! It's finally here! I'm so excited. Yeah, the Vanquish Soul Canine decks are finally here, and they are incredible. There's a lot that you can do with them, and yeah, we're just gonna go over them real quick. First and foremost, let's talk about the Vanquish Soul cards. We have, this is the deck list that I ended up playing, by the way. It's mostly engine, obviously, because a lot of them have the ability to just kind of play on the opponent's turn, utilizing the engine. So, of course, we're going to be doing that. That being said, yeah, the Vanquish Soul cards, we're playing the pretty much maximum amount of the good cards. The 2 Raisin, the 2 Xiaolong, I don't know why these cards are semi-limited, the 2 Stake Your Soul, and then the 3 Holly Sue, 3 apiece of Mad Love, which gets you the 1 Start, which also does the rest of the combo. And then, of course, we also have the Caesar Valius and the Heavy Borger in here as well. We're also playing one other spell to search, or spell trap to search, that being Snow Devil. Snow Devil's pretty solid, but it's not great. Or I should say, it's a solid search, but you don't want to draw it. So, of course, we're only playing the one. And for the most part, you don't need any other spells. That's pretty much it. As for the Canine cards, they're pretty simple as well. We're playing the 3 Azana, the 2 Jokel, the 1 Lupus, 1 Lantern, 3 Noir, and then the 1 Case for Canine. Case for Canine is basically the search target here, so there's that. As for the rest of the cards, it's just a few hand traps, things like Ash Blossom, Maxi, Fua. We're playing the 1 Nibiru. We have 1 Rhoda, and then the 1 Called By, as well as the Force Release. I forgot to mention this earlier. That's pretty much it for the deck. As for the extra deck, it's a lot of... Well, okay, we're playing 3 Rock the Vanquisher, but other than that, it's pretty much just Canine stuff. So we have ourselves 1... Oh, sorry. We are playing 1 Vanquish Soul Rocks, 4 outs to board wipes and what have you. So there you go. Or not board wipes. Towers. And then we're playing a bunch of 5s, and like the best 5s for this. We're playing Valon. We're playing Ripper. Realistically, I think playing a second Ripper is better than playing the 3rd Rock. We're playing an Umbral Horror, we're playing Nash Knight, as well as the Chaos Nash Knight, and then the Werewolf as well, and then Zeus and Typhon. We're also playing IPSP just because we can, and then the Saryuya. Saryuya is a way to get into your Canine or not Canine, your Vanquish Soul stuff off of the Canine cards, so that's the general gist of the deck. And that's pretty much it. Let's hop into the replays and show you how this deck performed. Alrighty, here we are going second, and we have a pretty solid hand. It's not the greatest, and technically doesn't really have that many good plays. It's basically just normal summon Azana, but luckily we're going second, and my opponent reveals that they're also on K9. I'm like, okay, cool. There's not a whole lot that I'm going to be able to do with this Azana, just in general, so... They're going to go for the Ripper for the Jokel here. They're going to activate the effect of the Lantern, targeting the Noir in order to special summon out the guy. They're going to look at my hand. Yeah, nothing I can do about that. Out comes the Azana of their own to send the Lupus, and then out comes Saryuya Scoldred, and I'm like, sure. They draw 3, or draw 4, and then put 3 back, and I'm like... They didn't go for anything, which is crazy. I think they just, like, ended up whiffing, which is wild to see, you know, so many cards and then still whiffing. But, okay. I go for the Azana here because, again, I don't really have anything, and if I can get the Azana on field, it's very advantageous for me. Obviously, this allows them to go for both Lupus and the Azana in their own hand, but I'm, like, not really too concerned. One, because it eats the Ripper negate, which is actually pretty good, and, sure, they do have the interaction of the Nash Knight here, but I'm not really concerned about Umbral Horror nearly as much as I am about just, like, the Ripper negate. So there's that. That being said, I do draw Holy Suit, which is one of the best top decks we could have gotten, so cool. We dump the Lupus here, and then we can reveal the Xiaolong and summon out the Holy Suit. And from here, this is the only point of interaction that they have is the Force Release, at least up until this point. So that's why they haven't done anything. I literally haven't... No, sorry. They could have gone for the Umbral Horror on the Azana, which honestly is not like a terrible option, but Azana technically doesn't do anything by itself, so I understand not doing that. Anyway, that being said, they go for the Force Release here, activate its effect. I go for the Xiaolong to see if I can bait them out to use the Umbral Horror. They do, fantastic. That means the Divicarnates are online. They know about the Divicarnates. That's also what they're playing around. when they go for the Jax. Now, they also decide not to actually activate the effect of the Jax to pop the Xiaolong, which is actually their death sentence here. And the reason for this, you'll see in a second. Those go to the grave. We attack in for 24. They're going to reset their card here. But now I get to go for the Rock the Vanquisher. Had they utilized the effect of Jax to pop my Xiaolong, I no longer have access to the Rock the Vanquisher. I no longer have the ability to grab Holly Sue and then grab Xiaolong and kind of get to play the game from that position, right? So there's that. But not only that, I mean, they could have also... no, they wouldn't have been able to pop the Divicarnate. But they could have at the very least, right, kept me on basically nothing. But alas, they also decide to then activate the effect of their own Lupus in Grave, which allows me to activate mine. So they could have also prevented me from having my own Lupus, which does end up killing them here. Or, like, checkmating them, right? Because they go for their Lupus, trying to gain advantage. It's a bad idea, reason being, during the end phase, Divicarnate's going to steal one of their monsters, and it happens to be a 5. We're going to steal their Izuna, and now we have the ability on their turn to Z-summon, and we can utilize the Rock to add back off of the Holly Sue to grab the Xiaolong, which then can be utilized in tandem with the other Divicarnate in hand to, like, change a battle position, which is also fairly solid. It's not, like, the greatest, but in comparison to what I could have had, which is nothing. I mean, they would have taken more damage, that's true, but I could have had nothing. So, there's that. Anyway, they see the writing on the wall and just concede there. Good game. Alrighty, here we are going second once again, and this time I drew Fuwa Maxi Izuna. Wow, crazy. It'd be a shame if my opponent was on something where this didn't really matter all that much. Out comes the big welcome, and I'm like, okay, out comes Fuwa loss here. We're going to activate the effect of the Fuwa loss. Out comes called by the grave, and I get to activate my Maxi. Now, to be fair, we did draw Rhoda, so this game is pretty much over anyway. And they also elected to activate the Ku-Clock here. I don't know why. That seems strange. I'm very confused as to why we elected to do this. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I'm going to go for the Stake Your Soul, revealing the Izuna, and they're going to go for the Songs of the Dominator. Sure. Off of Trapaholic, popping another Trapaholic. Ah, sure. Makes... I don't know. It kind of makes sense. It really doesn't make sense for them to have gone for the Ku-Clock there. I mean, you obviously should have just gone for the Lady Lab, but alas, happens. I'm going to go for the Holly Sue here. We're going to reveal, we're going to activate the Holly Sue, revealing too. They're going to grab the Impulse, and I'm like, that's fine. This is why I go for the Izuna when I do. Out comes the Lupus. Lupus effect is going to special summon itself, and now we can go for the Ripper here. We're going to activate the effect of the Ripper. We're going to add to our hand a case for Canine, and we get to also set the Force Release. At this point, the game is over, and I'm surprised that they don't understand this tidbit of information. I get to go for Jokel here, and again, the game is bada bing, bada boom, done. Even if they had Lady Lab, it wouldn't have mattered. They're still dead, so cool, good game. Thanks, Lab. Alrighty, here we are once again going first. Sorry, not once again. Here we are actually going first. Our starting hand is, actually, you know, it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good. They do have the Ash Blossom here, but that's not that big of a deal, seeing as how we have the case for Canine, which means that they would have to have Purge to kind of stop this here. So there's that. I do get a look at the hand. Oh, sorry, that went really fast. I don't, It was DDD. It was all DDD. They had no hand traps. So I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to go for the Jokel here. We're going to reveal the Xiaolong, and at this point, the game is pretty much over. There's not a whole lot that they can do here. Noir, being able to reveal the hand gives you such insane information. So it's very, very solid there. Anyway, we're going to go for the Izuna. Here, we're going to go for the Lupus. Out comes the Ripper. And this is where I get to show you the line for the Saryuya, why we're playing Saryuya in here, right? This Xiaolong could technically be anything. It does happen to be a Vanquish Hole already, but what you can actually do here is, even if your opponent hasn't activated anything, what you can do is you can go and summon out the all of these bodies, like so. You have Ripper, and then all of these additional extenders and bodies. Normally, you would utilize the... you would go Noir for Jokel, Jokel for Lantern. Yeah, you would go Jokel for Lantern. Then you would go Xyz into Ripper. Ripper would search Izuna, detaching the... I don't think it matters. Yeah, detaching whatever. You would go Lantern, bring back that target. Lantern, search out Case for Canine for the... you should have Izuna in hand. So you search out the Jokul, and then you go Jokul, Izuna, pitch the Lupus, and then Lupus can be summoned here as well. And then you should have pretty much the same thing as this field currently exists. Oops. And then you go into Saryuya. I may have missed like a step or two, but basically you get these 4 monsters onto the field, and then you can go for the Saryuya, which searches out, not searches, draws 4, and then the opponent realizes the writing on the wall once you also get into the Vanquish Soul stuff, and the game is over. Hopefully that made sense. All right, we're back with the deck, and honestly, this deck is actually pretty good, obviously, right? I expected it to be the best deck for climbing, and I still think that is the case. Being able to use both Izuna and Holisu on the opponent's turn to kind of start playing the game as they play the game is very, very solid. On top of that, you also just have very, very strong engine, which means that even if you go first, you still end on a very powerful end board. And because of the way that the interactions work, you are almost always favored if you get to do your combo, similar to that of like Yumi or Mitsurugi or a bunch of these other decks, right? So for the most part, I feel like you are way better off. It's way more consistent than a lot of other decks, and yeah, overall, it's pretty fun. That being said, Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now sucks. So yeah, I don't know. The player base just, it makes me want to pull my hair out because they're all playing just the worst decks. So I don't know if I'm going to keep playing this game. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope that you guys did indeed enjoy it. If you did, like, very much appreciate it. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.